Look, I'm not gonna lie, with all these injuries, Magic Round is looking a little lackluster. Before we dive into the ins and outs, let's go ahead and take a look at how we did last week. So in terms of picks, the be-all and end-all, we actually did alright, scoring 5 from 8. As for the matches in general, it was an absolute disaster class yet again. I mean, seriously, you really gotta clap it up for the referees who have been, once again, super consistent at being inconsistent. Back to the results, we had 1 red carpet, which means we got nothing right, and that was the Melbourne game. We did, however, score 2 perfect matches, and that is the Broncos 13+ into Reece Walsh, and the Titans 1-12 into David Fifita. We did shoot for a bit of value in some matches, like Kai Pierce-Paul and Warrior Hargreaves for Amanu Brown. Unfortunately, we couldn't hit any of those, but those teams did end up winning. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the round that was. Like I said to start the video, there is a lot to get through with all the unavailable stars. Let's go check them out. And to kick off Magic Round, we have an absolute midi. And that's alright, you know, we gotta get the rough stuff out first before we get to the goods. Joking aside, I've actually been enjoying watching both these teams. For the Raiders to start the season, it was a surprise factor. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were. And for the Bulldogs, it's been a slow burn as you'd expect in a rebuild, but they've slowly come to form. Raiders versus the Bulldogs, and looking at team changes, there's only one change to the Raiders, so that is Jordan Raupana. So he's straight back into the side, of course, playing at fullback, which means Albert Hopoate will be back to 18th man for the Bulldogs. Not much to talk about here, as they have the same 17 that rattled the Penrith cages last week. And in terms of history in the head-to-head overall, the Raiders do have the wood over the Dogs, winning 23 out of 41. And more recently, they beat them twice last year. Another thing to note is the Raiders are coming off a bye, but they are still without their main playmaker Jamal Fogarty. That's kind of like my go-to when going against the Raiders. So I will be taking the Bulldogs, who did look impressive last week, and they are on a bit of a run. I know they lost last week, but like I said, I do like the way they've been playing, you know, not scared to throw the ball around nice and early in sets, and I believe they had more line breaks than the Panthers last week, which was, again, impressive. And yeah, I think they can actually grind out a close win against this well-rested Raiders pack. So I've got the Bulldogs 1-12 points, and to score the meat pie, we've got Matt Burton. Form-wise, he has been one of their best, and with Origin around the corner, we'll be looking at these players to step their game up, especially for a position that's wide open. To put a cap on the Friday night footy, we have the Sea Eagles versus the Broncos. So there's plenty of movement. We'll start with the Sea Eagles. They are the home side. So first of all, Dolu Gola replaces Tommy Turbo. They've actually got Tommy Talau moving from the wing to the centre, and jumping back onto the wing, the little pit bull, the ball of muscle Raymond Tuai Malo Vainga. Another welcomed addition is Haumole Olakawatu, back from suspension, and he'll be starting for Corey Waddell. So Waddell expected to share minutes with Burbo, which I don't mind, given that I do think he's more impactful coming off the bench. And the man to fall out of the 17, Tofa simply coming off a pretty ordinary performance, unless he's injured. Back in the number 7, and they'll be without Billy Walters. So Tyson Smoothie, he gets the start, and Blake Moser will be coming off the bench. As for my pick, we're going to stick to what we know, or what's been working. That is Bronx 13+ and Reece Walsh. It's been saluting against teams that aren't Penrith. That, and just historically, the Broncos do have Manly's number when it comes to this Magic Round clash. And for the first of 3, on Saturday we have the Titans versus the Knights. Kicking things off with the Titans, there's plenty of outs. First of all, they lose their halves pairing in Brimo and Foreign, as well as outside backs Philip Sami and Harley Smith-Shields. As for their new halves pairing, it's interesting to say the least. They've got mixed of fix at Chris Randall, pairing with first choice hooker Sam Verrills. With the Verrills being shifted into the halves, that means Aaron Clark gets the start at hooker. And replacing the outside backs, they got Alofiana Campera and Aaron Shop with a 4-forward bench. As for the Knights, a couple of outs for them, hard and fast, Tyson Gamble and Daniel Saifiti. Coming in for Gamble, they got 2024 recruits Jack Cogger, and returning from suspension, Jacob Saifiti will slot in for his brother Daniel. And for my pick, we'll be steering clear of the Titans for this one. Give me the Newcastle Knights. Give me 13+ points. Although keep in mind I haven't checked the weather. I don't in general, once these teams drop, I pretty much have a quick peruse and get to making the video. Anyway, our try scorer for this match, we've got the rookie Daniel Armstrong, who did score last week, but he could have scored low-key, maybe a Hattie. I just like the way he looks out the back of shape. But yeah, we'll back him in to get another meat pie this week. And the evening game, crazy this isn't the headliner, we have a banger between the Sharks and the Roosters. So after being ruled out last week, Nico Hines has been named to play. pushing Blake Brayley and Cam McInnes back into their preferred positions. Surprisingly, Braden Trindle has been named in the extended reserves. Low-key has me worried for my bloody fantasy side. As for the Chooks, like Nico, Brandon Smith has been named after being a late out last week. However, they will be without their gun centre and Joey Manu, so filling in for him is their 18th man, Kalyn Ponga, or also known as Junior Ponga. Now, seeing Trindle in reserves has me a little worried that Nico could potentially sit this one out as well. It's kind of swaying me to take the Roosters in this clash, and we're going to take them 1 to 12 points. For the record, it isn't the sole reason. I do prefer their halves pairing and their forward pack. I think where Cronulla have the advantage is the outside backs and the work they get through. As for our meat pie securer, we're going to take the man with the hot hand, Angus Crichton, who was on an absolute legacy run this past month. And the headliner will be the South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the North Queensland Cowboys. So looking at the Bunnies here, they got 2 new wingers. Veteran Alex Johnson returns back onto the left sting as Jacob Gagai returns to the right. They also welcome back Tane Milne back from suspension. He'll be coming off the pine. And an interesting selection with Isaac Dutabo Thompson. He's been moved to right centre. For the Cowboys, they welcome back 2 rep players, winger Magic Murray Taulangi and mid Jordan McLean. Harrison Edwards is the one to drop out of the 17. As for my pick in this match, look, I've got so many Cowboys in my fantasy team, and for that reason, we're going to try and manifest a Cowboys 13+ victory, a return to form for the Cowboys. They got plenty of points in them, they've just been not good. Their defense in particular has been pretty shocking, and I won't lie to you, the Bunnies actually have me worried for the Cowboys this week. A Trail with the game under his belt, shaking the cobwebs off if you will, and Cody Walker just looking super dangerous last week. I'm expecting those two along with Damien Cook to really step it up, especially again with Origin around the corner. And our try scorer, we're going to go with Valentine Holmes, who came close last week. Honestly, he's been pretty average this season. We're going to revisit that State of Origin angle and hope that Val Holmes has a blinder. And to cap off Magic Round on the final day, Sunday, we have a triple header, starting with the Warriors versus the Panthers. So first of all, Tomato Martin will be Sean Johnson's replacement, and at 5'8", they've got Chance and Nickel Clockstad. They've also included a couple of young guns of Tain Tuaupiki to play fullback, and Alilau Tawa replaces the injured Rocco Berry. For the Panthers, with Nathan Cleary out for an extended period, Jerome Luai will be moving to halfback, and rookie Jack Cole will play 5'8". I'm not too sure, or I'm not too familiar with Jack Cole. Matt Eisenhuth, he joins the bench for Liam Henry, who is also medically suspended, aka Category 1 head knock. As for my pick in this match, it's been quite the fall from grace for the Warriors. Since drawing with Manly, they are now on a 4-loss slide. The undisputed champions, by the way, they're on a 4-game win streak. As for my pick, I will be taking the Panthers in this one. The safe bet. Look, I was so high on the Warriors this year, and unfortunately, they've just looked a little, I don't know, they've just looked, I guess, lethargic in attack, predictable in general, almost like too robotic, and it's seemingly been easy reads for their opposition. So I want the Panthers 1 to 12, and I guess with Luai moving to the right side, give me Liam Martin, yeah? And in the 4 PM slot, we have the Storm taking on the Eels. For the Storm, it's a fitting round to return as they welcome back Xavier Coates, who's pulled off a few magic moments, a few magic plays already this season. That is the sole change for the Melbourne Storm. For the Eels, with Moses still unavailable, Dylan Brown will continue to steer the ship, and Deja Anasi joins him in the halves. They also welcome Cartwright back, who will be coming off the pine in place of Brendan Hands. And as for my pick, we're going to keep it short and sweet. I've got the Melbourne Storm and I've got 13+. Am I confident? The Storm without the big 4, they're good. They're just not as potent, so we're going to take them by 1 to 12 points. And to bag a meat pie for us, we're going to jump on Harry Grant. We've tried him a few times, but he hasn't saluted. Hopefully he does this time around. And to close the Magic Round, we have the Dolphins playing the Tigers. Starting with the Tigers, 3 big outs. Isaiah Papali'i, John Bateman, and Stafford Dotter. Replacements, they have Seyfarth jumping into the back row for IPAP, and cult hero Alex Twal will be playing lock. There's also a shift to the back line with Brent Naden moving from the left wing to the right centre, with rugby convert Solomon Alaimalo taking his spot on the wing. For the Finns, the Hammer's back, and he jumps straight into fullback, pushing Trey Fuller back out to 18th man. They also lose an important middleman in Max Plath, and have a pretty handy replacement with veteran Kenny Bromwich set to start in the 13. Bit of a tricky game for mine. I have been liking the Tigers and have been feeling like they're due for a win, but without some quality talent in Isaiah Papali'i and John Bateman, I think I'm going to back the veterans of the Dolphins pack to get one over on the Tigers. As for a margin, we'll predict a close one. We'll take the Finns 1 to 12 points. And give me Herbie Farnworth up against Brett Naden, who's coming off a shocker. Mind you, it was on the wing. I'll be honest, I do like anyone on this left side. Aiken, Farnworth, Bostock, but we'll lock in Herbie Farnworth. And that about wraps up our preview, our tips and predictions for Magic Round, Round 11. As always, boys, if you've got any tips and predictions of your own, let us know in the comment section down below. And or a try scorer. Also, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to run it straight to the like button, and for more rugby league related content or more content in general, go ahead and drop your boy a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.